Okay, very exciting. There to here, here to there. Now it is, what is that temperature outside? It is 92 degrees outside. I am going from there to here and there to here. So what is the life of Mickey today? So today I had to teach, and I teach that I've taught for the last 27 years, the same class every 14 days for people that are in the homeless shelter. So what I do is I bring a giant IKEA bag of stuff, and it's stuff for people that they can take away. So today was very busy because I had an enormous amount of personal care items. So someone was kind enough to drop off all sorts of these products. And I don't know if she tests products or that we should just really talk about how much personal care products that she buys, but I had probably, 25 today that all came from one gift donor. So thank you. And so we had a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes today. And today's topic was on resources, and right, everyone has the same number one resource, and that is resourcefulness, being resourceful. So I had a full house today. One of the big changes that happened last year was that they retired the old team, have a new team. The old team tried to get me fired and not have this job anymore, and there was just lots of crummy parts to that. So they that team is gone, and now it's just us relics, and they understand what I'm trying to do, and they see the change. They see what I can do and have done. And one of the things that I like to bring to that class is everything that someone who feels like they don't have any resources can resource themselves. So today we really talked about so when everybody tried to kind of get me they were a new crew. They tried to get me fired, and it was a bummer, but now we have a great group in there. And anyway, so today we did resources, and what I love about what changed in that is now if anyone who's on staff or break during that time, they can come sit into my class. So I had a full house today again, but half of my class was actual staff, and these are staff that are advocates for other parents. So they can any resources that I bring, they can pack them up and bring them directly to parents. So it's a big deal. So today we talked about just different apps and the free somethings, how they're doing it. And what's really funny is that the 2 out of the 3 resources I brought today, everybody was familiar with that worked there, and they were crazy for it. They were just oh my gosh. So when we're talking about technology, one of the things that I remind people about is that technology is going to make things happen that couldn't happen before, and it's going to make them happen also in ways that can be positively impactful. And one of the things that I am personally very interested in is farming and but food waste. And when I teach that class, we make food, and everything that's left over, I literally pack up so that everyone can just bring it home. So one of the things that I started teaching people is if you're coming to my class, there's going to be leftovers. So please bring to-go containers. And every time I bring to-go containers, everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is so great. So one of the things that happened today is that Brian, he knows that I'm going to bring to-go containers, but he doesn't like the fact that it's all this plastic. So he brought his own to-go container. Lucky. And he brought it in a glass container. And I said, well, I'm glad that you're actually bringing it, because he doesn't normally take anything. And he's like, no, this time I needed to. I'm like, good for you. So we had beef with rice today, and it was delicious. So we talked about resources. The Too Good To Go is an app that where you can kind of pick up something. They're like a little surprise bag. You never know what's there, but you can kind of pick out, what's there, and it's kind of geocache-ish fun. If any of you have geocached before, you kind of go to this address that you don't know of, and it's there. So this costs money, but sometimes it's just not that much. Like today, we talked about sushi rolls that, you can pick up any 3 sushi rolls for this price. And from a business perspective, I really like this model. And I like this model for a restaurant, because if the restaurant has a wrong order, it can just do that. If it has stuff that there's no rules about what you put in there, for all of us who are signing up for grab bag, you never know what's in there. And one of the people that went and picked up one of these grab bags said, no, sometimes it's crazy. She went and picked up an entire, she just picked up a grab bag. She paid, I don't know, $7 or $10 for it. And she gets there and they're like, hey, do you want this whole thing? Because we had an entire catering order that didn't pick up. She's like, yes, me and my friends will take that. So she ended up literally loading up her car with all these pasta salads and everything. And she goes, my friends and I just spent the whole night giving out all that food. She goes, it was the best $10 I'd ever spent. And so again, right, learning new things, resources, resourcefulness. She's like, we all had a great time. Oh no, she told me it was $13. She paid $13. And she's like, it was totally worth it. All of us ate, we fed all these other people. And again, it also energetically shifts the conversation of, I don't have enough to go out, or can I change $10 out of my grocery budget to be something different? And that kind of swapping up your grocery budget. Now, I have taught finance for a long time. And I have taught finance creatively and creative budgeting for a long time. And what I really like about technology as your tool, right? The greatest resource is resourcefulness, is we are seeing people really understand what a free cycle is about. And one of the things that I teach people in class is you're so used to that model of I should do everything myself. And it's like, no, I need you to put in there to say, here's the resource I want. Is there a free resource that can give me this item? So is there a pan? Like we used it today. I just said, okay, what's something that somebody needs? And they're like, oh, me. And it turns out they needed a pan. And I'm like, okay, what kind of pan do you need? Blah, 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 blah. Comes down to it. A late person, a staff member that worked in the class, in another classroom, she's like, oh, I totally have an extra pan. I'm not even cooking anymore. I'll bring it for you tomorrow. I said, great. There it goes, right? See how fast it works. A lot of things that you want are probably in your bestie's cabinet. That's really what I'm learning. And I have watched it happen every single time I do it. The last one was for the Egyptian cake maker when I did it in that class, where I'm like, okay, well, what do you need? She's like, I need a mixer. I need a really good mixer. And it happened to be, again, somebody's like, yeah, I have one of those in my basement. I haven't touched it in 10 years. Why don't you have it? But she had it been imprisoned in her basement, not because it was a naughty mixer, but because she doesn't bake. And it's a nice thing, and it's expensive, and I don't want to give it away, or I don't want to throw it away, or I don't want it to go to waste, or whatever. But now free it up, and now that person has a way to make another income. And so for when I'm teaching with the families that are in this shelter, you know, they have a lot of unique things that make it difficult. And I have a translator in that class. So my translator is speaking in Spanish. Sometimes I have 3 or 4 translators in that class because there's just multiple languages that come to class. But you have to teach for the ability to be translated. So sometimes I have to go real slow. So the speed at which I can teach that class is half. But it allows everybody to just goof off and have lunch and dig through free stuff. So that's a fun day. The other thing so now I'm going to drop some stuff off for the wedding. So my husband is home right now with the giant bus parked out front, which he loves to do. He was bringing all the little kids in that big bus to the Twins game, which our other friend is working. So I think that's going to be fun. So, you know, my husband is retired, but he got the school bus driving job, and his other friend, he's friends with two guys named Matt. One Matt used to bought my mother's house, and we did not know that until like 30 years later. Anyway, so Matt, his friend Matt is working, who is also retired as a probation officer, is working at the Twins. And so those two have these weird little jobs, but today was the first time that their weird little jobs actually intermingled. So they felt kind of good about that. And we love the intermingling. Another cute thing that happened is I have these 2 little kids that live at the end of my block. 2 little girls. They're probably 3 and 2. They might be 4 and almost 2.5, but they're about that age. Anyway, one is very special needs and has a lot of gear, but really those parents are doing such a good job. They're working on her big motor skills. So they put her in a little walker and they let her walk to the end of the block, which is my street, which is my house. So anytime I see those 2 girls, I just run out to just cheer them on, and they're just so dang cute. And then we kind of get the details. And so the other day, and that's Brooke and Tessa, by the way. Brooke and Tessa's mother made a cereal snack and brought me over some. So I thought that was really cute. And she knew I was growing these flowers for this wedding this weekend, and that I had completely wrecked it because they're already bloomed and out of the way. So she's like, I just wanted you to know, I know it's not much, but I do have 3 perfect lilies in my backyard. And I'm like, I love you so much. First of all, for even knowing that story about me. 2, for being willing to give it over. 3, for your cutest little kids ever. And 4, for giving me your flowers. Like, And I let those kids pick flowers. So that I was like, look, they're not going to make it to the wedding, so you guys might as well pick them and put them on your, pick them and put them in on your beautiful table. So they're so cute. So that's a day in the life today. Right now I'm going into storage. I am going to secretly pack my groomsmen gifts right now. And hopefully I'm not just baking in there. I have jeans on today. So there's that. And so that's the life of Mickey. Now I'm going to go pack the groomsmen's gifts. And they're so good. Maybe I'll do a video on just their groomsmen gifts. because the guy, well, first of all, everyone won. The grooms got something that they wouldn't never buy themselves, and so did the brides of honor, the bridesmaids. The bridesmaids, I got them each a pearl necklace, a black pearl necklace, and they're super cute. So it's it's a little something nice. It's nice to be nice. Okay, wow. My storage unit is like going crazy today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am the 8th car in the lot trying to get in. Wow. Oh, 9. Now there's 9. Wow. Okay. The other thing about the storage unit is, I think that if you are not familiar with storage unit life, so I ran a nonprofit out of a storage unit for 18 years. So I've had a storage unit for a long time. The amount of people that work out of a storage unit is insane. And right now, with everyone who is a reseller, oh my goodness, they are here all the time. So we have lots of kind of, I don't know if you call them arguments, but tension between the people who own the storage unit and the people who like have their livelihood out of the storage unit. Out of this, so for a business model, there's something else there for me to talk about, because that business model of storage is so popular. And it's so popular because housing is so awful that they are putting in storage units like crazy everywhere. There's like no units available. There's no place to rent. There's no place to live. There's just a lot here. And so you meet people that look totally normal and they're living out of their car and they're selling online or whatever. So the eBayers that are here that have the big units like mine, they are here literally morning till night. So that's another interesting thing about just culture and what's going on in a storage unit. And so they're my friends too. All right, have a good day. Bye.